What up, guys? Kyle here from Team Heatwave, and we got Epic Jokers with his updated Pepe deck profile. So let's get into it.
What up, guys? Epic Joker's here. After extensive testing since the February adjusted list, I finally have a new Pepe build that I really like. So let's just not wait and let's get into it. For the main deck, I just want you guys to know that I don't main any hand traps. I just focused my build around just a lot of engines for the deck to make it as consistent as possible. So let's get into it. I play the 3 Joker. I see some people running it at 2. I don't know why. This is the main searcher of the deck now that Joker is down to 1 and so is Monkey Board. So I feel that Joker is, with Joker and Monkey Board being gone, that Pendulum Sorcerer is just a necessity to have at 3, even more than it was before. And then I play 2 Silverclaw. I've seen some people running it at 1, but I like it at 2 because it's a searchable high scale, and it's also a dark, so you can go into Key Beetle or Nightmare with it. And then I run the Pot of Greed combo, the 2 Lizard Draw, and the 2 Guitardles. There's not much to say about them. Pot of Greed, you just plus and you draw into shit that you need to win the game that turn. And I play the 2 Second Donkey. Some people run it at 1, some people run it at 3. I like 2 because it combos well. Well, it doesn't really combo well, it just makes it so you have the 3rd Joker. With this being at 1, these do basically the same thing, except they don't search Odd Eyes or Magicians. But since I don't run those in the deck, I feel that the 2 Second Donkey and the 1 Joker is perfect numbered because you have it back at 3 basically. And then I run the 1 Monkey Board. It's just a resource that you want to have in hand most of the time. Just have a 1 card back into the game. But there will be times where I just put it straight into scales to search off like the Wizard or something, search my Pot of Greed combos. And then I play the 1 Turn Toad mainly as a main deck out to Monarchs. It's really good because all the Monarchs have 1,000 defense, so you can set this in scales and summon practically any of your performapals and just beat over their Monarchs. That's it for the performapals. For the Draco Slayer engine, I play the 6 Vanillas, consisting of 3 Master, 3 Vector, and then I play 1 Luster. I see a lot of people running it at 2 of each of the Vanillas and then the 1 Luster. I don't like that because running 3 of it all allows you to run Rescue Rabbit, and it makes Draco face off live at almost all times. So I really like the ratio of the 6 Vanillas and the 1 Luster. I also run the Dark Engine, but I don't run the 3 Armageddon Knight. I run 2 Armageddon Knight, 1 Dragon, and 1 Zephyros. I run these because I tried this at 3, but I just saw it way too often, and I would draw into Dragon a lot of the times. So I just like it at 2 because, it helps me see this before I see these. I know a lot of people think, well, hey, you'd see Armageddon Knight more at 3, but a lot of times the 3 wouldn't really matter because I'd open up like a Dragon and sometimes an Armageddon Knight, and I don't want that. I want to send these 2 off with the Armageddon Knight, so I just run 2 and then the 1 of each of the others. Then for the last of the cards, I run the Rescue Rabbit to search out the Draco Slayers, and then I run the Masked Chameleon as a 1 card Ignister pretty much. With Luster being at 1, you really need this card again to make Ignister more consistently. So, there's not much to say for that. That's it for the monsters. For the spells, I run 3 Wavering Eyes. This is a defensive card now. I normally, if I see it in my first turn hand, if I don't have the plays to go all out, I'll just set this and summon a Rafflesia and a Key Beetle and pass turn. So this card is more defensive, but it can be still used very aggressively. And I run the 3 Face Off. you run 3 because you want to see it in your first hand. I've seen people running it at 2, but they're also running the only the 4 vanillas instead of the full 6. But I really want to see this in my first hand, so I do run the 3 of. And then I run the 3 upstarts, 37 card deck. It's not much to explain about this. I mean, it's technically, some people can consider it a neg 1, some people consider it neutral, but in this deck, you don't really care about giving your opponent 1,000 life points because you just get rid of it so easily. So I just upside, it just allows you to see a new card to go off on your combo plays. And then I run 2 instant fusions. I was testing this at 3 with 2 Nordens in the extra deck, but I just ran into this so often that I feel the original 2 instant fusion, 1 Norden ratio is just the best for this deck. That's it for the spells. For the traps, it's just 1 treacherous, 1 bottomless. For the Rafflesia, not much to say about them. I mean, they're pretty self-explanatory cards. Treacherous destroys 2 monsters on the field, and bottomless destroys a 1500 attacker that was summoned. So they're pretty self-explanatory. For the extra deck, I run 2 Ignister. I've seen some people running it at 3. I've seen some people running an Omega again or a Stardust. I don't like filling the extra deck up with synchros that I won't always use, so I just like having the 2 Ignisters in there. And then I run the 2 Dynastor. I was testing this at 1, and I replaced the second one with the second Norden. But I like this a lot better because a lot of the times they'll destroy your Ignister, and you just want to be able to protect your scales or your pendulum monsters on the field. So you want that second one to be able to go into just in case your first one gets destroyed. And then I also run the 1 Norden self-explanatory combos with instant fusion. It's a 1 card rank 4. Not much to say about that. For the Xyz, I run the 1 Rafflesia. Pretty self-explanatory. Send your trap holes, get rid of shit on the field. The 1 Nightmare for mainly the mirror match. I mean, it can be good against other decks. Like, since Cosmos only normally have 1 monster on the field at a time, I guess Nightmare could work well against them, like flipping the Dark Destroyer on summon and things like that. The 1 Abyss Dweller for Burning Abyss, Monarchs, Graveyard decks like that. 1 Digusto Emerald for recycling your cards. 1 Majester. I've seen some people run this at 2. I want to try this at 2. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it though, but I mean, it is a really good card. I just don't know if 2 is the best option for today's meta. The 1 Diamond Dyer, pop back row basically. That's all you really use it for. You can summon this out, and then you can keep a performapal Silverclaw on the field, and that's a beast, so you won't have to destroy him. So you'll potentially get 2 pops off of him. So I really like that. 1 Castell. I mean, it's Castell. It gets rid of face-up cards. I mean, a lot of people don't recognize its secondary effect to basically Book of Moon a card, which can be really relevant. So, I mean, you have 2 options with Castell right now. The King of the Fairlands searches out your Mask Chameleon, searches out your Lizard Draw. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory. 1 Key Beetle, summon it, protect Scales, or protect Rafflesia, or something like that. And then the 1 Trapeze Magician. This doesn't come up a lot, but when it does, I normally have game that turn. I really do like this card, even though I don't run the Clowns anymore. I really do like this card. But if I would take this out, I would switch it out for either a 101, a Omega, or a Giant Hand. So there's that for the extra deck. It's a 15 card extra deck. For the side deck, I mean, I just kind of threw my side deck together. That's the one thing I haven't really tested as much. My side deck's basically just a bunch of hand traps and spells. But I run 3 Samurai Cavalry of Reptier. I run this just as extra outs to non-pendulum decks. So, like, if they have a Dark Destroyer on the field and you can't have summon an Ignister that turn, you can always just normal summon this out and swing over the Dark Destroyer, and it destroys it. And this is really good for the Monarch matchup as well, because since they're not pendulums, you can normal summon this, get rid of their tribute summon monster, then pen summon 4 from the extra deck. Then I run 2 Maxis. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. I mean, plus, especially against Burning Abyss and things like that, it just allows insane plus because they rely on special summoning. And with Maxi, it's either they take the Maxi challenge and you get a lot of your deck, or they don't and you just steal game next turn. So Maxi is really good. 2 Effect Veilers, mainly to stop the Idea. It's also really good against the Farm Girl as well. So like on normal summon, you just Effect Veiler. So they either have to get rid of the Farm Girl right there for a card they have in their hand, or they just can't search that turn, and then you just get rid of it next turn. Then I run 2 Drone Lockbird. I don't know how I feel about this card. I used to run Flying Seas just for more Xyz hate. But Drone Lockbird has come up a lot against matches like Monarchs, Mermills. The Mirror match is really good in the Mirror match because they search a lot. So I just have the Drone Lockbird in there. Just for the in-case situations where you think you'd need it. And then for the last of the monsters, I run 1 Nat Beast and 1 Palomaru. I don't main Nat Beast. I don't like having it in the main with the Palomaru inside, so I just throw them both in the side. And I like side out the Trapeze Magician in the extra deck for the Nat Beast, for the Monarchs and all that. And then I run 2 Forge of the Draco, True Dracos. I run this for the mirror match. Sorry. If you have, or if a Draco Slayer monster that is not a Pendulum monster and a Drake Overlord monster are on the field, anywhere on the field, you can activate this card and shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. So you can, if they have an Ignister on the field, you can just summon a Vector, spin all cards, set skills, and Pendulum summon 5, and you just have a clear board to do whatever you want. And then I run 1 Regeki and 1 Dark Hole. I'm not sure how I feel about the Dark Hole. I might take this out with the Drone and Lockbirds and possibly put in like either Light Imprisoning Mirrors or Imperial Iron Walls, just to have more, just to have some traps in the deck that are pretty relevant. But other than that, I'm not really sure. And I mean, there's not much else to say about it. The deck is really, it's just a really combo heavy deck now. It's not as insane as it was before. It's not the pseudo infernity that it was before, but I do feel the deck is still really relevant. And it is easily one of the best decks in the game, if not the best deck in the game. But other than that, there's not much to say. Epic Joker's out.